My name is Alicia Aguirre. I'm the mayor of the city of Redwood City. I'm excited today to open up our new Connect Redwood City event with all of the great things that are happening in Redwood City. This is just another plus. I want to tell you that this program is funded through a grant, and it provides residents, visitors, and local employees with convenience of transportation so that they can take their trips to school, to work, to live where they're at their home, so that they don't have to use the old modes. And if you look around you, you see all of the different things that are happening in Redwood City. And so when you think, okay, look at all this housing, you can hear the banging, what are we going to do? You can't bring this kind of building without bringing also smart ways of transportation. It was just a few months ago that we did the zip car. We did the El Camino Real route here and ribbon cutting. All of these things are going to enhance our city for the people that come both from across the bay, from San Jose, from other regions to work in this area, so that they can also be part of not only their job, but also the other things that Redwood City has. As you know, we've become a transportation mecca of the peninsula. And so we've also become an entertainment district. We have the theater, we have the Fox, we have Dragon, we have other things that are happening. So we really invite folks to come down and use all of these things, but now we have different modes of transportation to do this. Now, with transportation, we know that we have a lot of air pollution, and we know that that's the number one cause of air pollution are the cars. So this will be a very, very smart way for us to contribute to not having that happen, having people get out of their cars, get into the bikes, get into the shuttles, get into the van pools, get into the buses, but the train, and also to walk. I know that I see a lot more people from the neighborhoods where I live coming downtown to all of these events by being able just to walk, just to enjoy the day. And I'm glad that today it's not as hot because it can be pretty warm in Redwood City, so it's nice that we have a little bit of overcast to enjoy this. So this couldn't happen without all of the different, and I know I'm going to have a little competition there, but that's a great mode of transportation. We need to take it whenever you have the opportunity with our Caltrain partners. But you know, I'm not only the mayor of Redwood City, I'm also a commissioner. I represent the cities of San Mateo County on the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. All of us on the council wear different hats. One of my other colleagues is also on SamTrans. Another one is on the Transportation Commission. So Redwood City is really covered within the transportation modes. And it's those partnerships that help us get things like we have today. Otherwise, we wouldn't have all these great opportunities. So some of these organizations are the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, San Mateo County Transit District, the Peninsula Traffic Congestion Relief Alliance, the County of San Mateo, the City of Redwood City, SamTrans, Caltrain, Zipcar, Bike Share, and of course Caltrain. Didn't mention that. So now what I'd like to do is to introduce you to some of the folks that have made a lot of these things happen in our city. And the first one that I'm going to introduce is Supervisor Adrienne Tissier. She's also on the Metropolitan Transportation Commission with me. She serves and she represents the County of San Mateo. She's also on the Board of Directors of the San Mateo Transit District, better known as SamTrans, as well as the Peninsula Joint Powers Board. Please welcome Supervisor Adrienne Tissier.
Thank you, Alicia, and thank you for your great leadership here in Redwood City. I want you to know we started off this afternoon, President Don Horsley and myself, we actually walked over here, so it is very walkable here from the county center. And I want you to know that we do frequent many of the restaurants here in Redwood City on a daily basis. So you really have done a tremendous job here for the people who live, work, and play here in Redwood City. First off, I'd like to say a few words as a board member of the Metropolitan Transportation Committee and the San Mateo County Transit District. I am thrilled to be here for this launch of Connect Redwood City. It's a program that is going to really help all of us around the peninsula, but also around the entire Bay Area. I want to first thank all the hardworking staff that have worked on this to really make not only this day happen, but to also make sure that we have bicycles here and around the county. I want to give a special thanks to the SamTrans staff. Is Iris Ewan here? Iris, thank you so much. I understand you're the project manager and you worked very hard on this, so thank you very much for your leadership in that. I'd also like to thank our partners at the Alliance. Thank Redwood City. Our San Mateo County staff has participated, Caltrain, as you just saw, the Zipcar folks, and the Bay Area Bike Share, who have worked seamlessly together to get this project rolling. As Mayor Aguirre mentioned, the Bay Area's single largest source of greenhouse gas emissions is from transportation. In fact, transportation sector contributes over 40% of the greenhouse gas emissions in the region. And so in response to this, in late 2009, MTC created the Climate Initiatives Program, which created $33 million in grants to be able to distribute throughout the Bay Area to see if we can help, whether we can solve it or just improve the number of greenhouse gas emissions related to transportation. And so MTC granted our area $1.5 million to see if we can launch a program such as what we're doing today called Connect Redwood City.
Attention, train 140 to approaching.
My train is coming. This program not only has travel solutions, but it's a great backup alternative if you don't feel like driving your car. Now, I happen to live in Daly City. It's a little bit of a stretch for me to ride my bike all the way, but I could possibly ride my bike here up to my Caltrain and Samtrans meetings. So keep an eye for me on El Camino one of these days, or you might hear about me in the paper falling off that bike. But anyway, we have to remember the Connect Redwood City was created as part of the Grand Boulevard Initiative. And a lot of the cities, a lot of the transportation agencies, many coalitions of congestion management groups joined together to try to find a resolution to some of the greenhouse gas emissions, but also to make our cities more walkable, more bikeable, be able to use zip cars so we don't have to use our cars every day. And we've made some very vibrant town centers because of this, and Redwood City is a perfect example of that. It's grown from the time I got here on the Board of Supervisors 8 years ago. Redwood City has grown exponentially in becoming an incredible town center, and they should be very proud of what they've done. They've been a big part of this Grand Boulevard Initiative and this transportation initiative. What we're hoping for here with this Redwood City Connect is to really change the lifestyle for people in and around the Bay Area, and I think we're doing that. It's becoming more sustainable, it's becoming more vibrant, and a more walkable way of life, and a nice transportation way of life. And just for your knowledge, as a mobility manager, Samtrans is constantly seeking new strategies for how we move people around the county. We obviously have buses, we have trains, we have shuttles, but now we have van pools, we have car pools, we have zip cars, we have bicycles. We all try to walk as much as we possibly can. So we are doing everything we can to come up with new and different strategies. And we really appreciate the fact that you're all here because you obviously care about the work that's being done by all these agencies to make this such an incredible program. So on behalf of MTC and the San Mateo County Transit District, I really thank you and all the partners that have joined us here today to make this Redwood City Connect possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Tissier, for your leadership on the Metropolitan Transportation Commission and also for all the work that you've done to make all of this happen. Next, I'd like to introduce Supervisor Don Horsley. He's an advocate for green transportation, supports the exploration of new ways for San Mateo County to reduce carbon footprints. He sits on the San Mateo County Transportation Authority Board. Please welcome Supervisor Horsley.
Well, again, thanks, Mayor Alicia Aguirre, for the introduction. But I've lived in this Redwood City area for a number of years, almost like, I think, about 40 years, and I've really seen this town grow. And I have to say the leadership of the City Council has been really phenomenal over the last several years. And just the development of housing and transportation in this area is just remarkable. And, you know, I actually wear three hats. Not only do I live in this area, but you know, obviously, I serve on the Transportation Authority. At one time, I used to be the sheriff of the county, so I really know how important transportation is and how important it is to get vehicles off of the road. So today, with the official launch of Connect Redwood City, I really find myself thinking about my former life as an educator. I actually was a teacher at one time as the San Mateo County Sheriff, and later I served on the Sequoia Healthcare District Board for a number of years. And my experiences really kind of converge today a little bit. You know, I work with the Transportation Authority, mostly, you know, because I'm really committed to, and I know that all of our residents need more options for commuting. And I know how healthy it is for people to be able to have different kinds of options to be able to commute. And all of us, Adrian, myself, and Alicia, we're going to all have to buy bicycle helmets, because if we're going to be using these things, we're going to need to be safe at the same time. And that is part of having been a sheriff. And so in any case, I know we need to give people different options, and you know, that's one of the reasons that our Transportation Authority invested about $120,000 in Measure A funds for this program. That was a tax that was passed in 1988 by the residents to improve transportation, and this is really kind of one of our projects that is near and dear to all of our hearts. You know, earlier I spoke about being on a healthcare district and the health benefits and of benefits of transit, ride-sharing, biking, walking. We all know that people need different options for emergencies, and you know, one of the things that kind of an unexpected benefit of all this is the addition of zip cars. So you know, if people are going to be on bicycles and using transportation, they might have an emergency. They may need to pick up a child from school, as many of us parents know. So having that zip car as an option is really a great advantage for all of our programs here. So I also want to thank the Alliance for their technical assistance to employers seeking a whole range of transportation options for people. So I guess we also today we have some employers. We also have Silver Springs Network is here with us today, and we know that transportation alternatives, such as all the things that we've talked about today and we see today, help reduce employee stress, improve productivity, and quite frankly, overall job satisfaction. It's really a win for all of us, for employers, employees, for our residents. So it's a comprehensive, holistic approach to improving and providing easy access to multimodal options that make Connect Redwood City such a fantastic program. And after seeing all those trains roll by here, I bet we're all really looking forward to having them electrified, because they're a lot quieter. So congratulations, Sid.
Thank you, Supervisor Horsley, for your leadership on the TA and helping to make this happen. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Grossman of Zipcar. He's the Western Region Vice President, and he's been with Zipcar, a car-sharing service program, since 2009, and has worked diligently to deliver Zipcar's promise of wheels when you want them. Mr. Grossman.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. So I was born and raised here in Redwood City. Both my kids went to Sequoia High School across the street, so activities like this are always very special to me. You know, because when you're born and raised in this area and you wake up to go to work in the morning, the first thing you think of isn't always using public transportation, because you didn't have that ability to get that kind of last mile, to go on that errand, to go to the doctor. And it's so exciting to see what the city's created. I mean, look at right here at this Caltrain station. I mean, bikes, it's zip cars and buses and vans. That's why Zipcar is so excited to be a part of this. This whole connection that we're creating in these cities is so meaningful, specifically to those commuters that come into these towns. You know, when I think back more than a decade ago, when the founders of Zipcar came up with this concept, they would have never imagined at this point today we have more than 800,000 members and 9,000 cars. It's something that we never thought of, and to be at this point, it just makes it. It's a key integration. It's a key integration right now to be able to offer this to the city. It's, you know, when you think about it, our members tell us that their vehicle miles traveled are reduced more than 40% when they switch from car ownership to car sharing. And that's pretty significant, along with an average savings of about $700 a month when you're sharing a car versus owning a car. So it's all incredibly meaningful, and I just feel great that we were able to get Zipcar to become part of this in a town that you know, I was born and raised in and still live very close to. So, you know, I appreciate everybody coming today, and I just want you to know how enthusiastic we are about the commitment, you know, Zipcar has to continue expanding in the area and to do whatever the city needs to help continue this growth. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Grossman, for all you've done for bringing Zipcar throughout the Bay Area, especially to Redwood City. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. LaFleur. She was a 20-year Peninsula resident and is an avid bike rider and transit supporter. She works in San Jose. She rides Caltrain and other transits regularly to commute and to get around. Please welcome Ms. Janet LaFleur.
Thank you, Mayor Aguirre. As the mayor said, I've been in the Peninsula a resident for over 20 years, and it's really exciting to see how things have evolved over the years. Launching Caltrain and improved bus service, bike aboard programs really opened up a lot of opportunities for people to get around and solve some of their first and last mile issues, including me. I take Caltrain every day to work and on the weekends. What I really love now is we keep going forward with it, and now we have things like Zipcar and Bike Share, which are providing even more opportunities. Because it's all about options. You want something that's flexible and it's going to work for you. But since I'm really a bike person, I want to talk about bikes. So I'm going to talk about Bike Share. And I'm going to share some of the stories of people that I've met that use it every day as part of their commute. One of them is a friend, Alex, who I first met on Caltrain. She used to take her bike aboard. But it's kind of a hassle because she was coming down from the city, and it's really crowded. They have 2 bike cars on every train, and some trains hold as many as 80 bikes, and still they fill. So that's a real problem. So when Bike Share opened up, well, actually before that, she tried taking a shuttle in San Jose, and that was pretty good. But sometimes the train was late, and she'd miss her shuttle, and it was a full mile walk to her office. So she was looking for new options, and as soon as Bike Share came up, she was the first one to get an annual membership. So that's what she does every day. The second person I want to share a story for is actually in the audience, and it's Mike over here in the red shirt. Mike lives in San Francisco in the North Beach, and he works at the county offices here in Redwood City. So his problem wasn't so much a last mile problem because, you know, he can walk, it's less than a mile, but the first mile is tricky. Before he was taking his bike on Caltrain, but he was taking it aboard because the secure parking they have in San Francisco didn't open up early enough for him to leave it there at Warm Planet. So he was taking it aboard, even though he kind of really didn't completely need it on this end. Although errands are nice to have a bike. In the middle of the day, you can get out much faster. So he signed up for Bike Share. So now he can ride from the North Beach to the Caltrain station, get on a train, sit comfortably without all the crowd or the bike car. And when he comes down here, at first he thought he'd be walking, but you know, when you walk right by the Bike Share, it's kind of hard to ignore. I mean, it's really easy to use. So he rides on this end as well, plus, as I said, for errands. So the big thought I want to leave you with is, well, actually back up. I love Connect Redwood City because they're really promoting all these options, because when it comes down to it, most people kind of get stuck in a rut and they do the same thing they've done forever, even as they get more and more frustrated. You hear people complaining about traffic or the bus service or whatever. They need to try other things, right? Connect Redwood City can help them do that. So whether they switch to trying Bike Share or a van pool or one of the zip cars for midday, maybe go somewhere further, they have options. And that's what I really want to encourage everyone. If you haven't tried one of those 5 or 6 options, how many were there? At least 5 or 6 options we threw out there. I want you to challenge yourself to try something new. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you, Ms. LaFleur, and your enthusiasm to see this program flourishing in Redwood City. I'd like to introduce Dalton Victor. He's a senior engineer manager of Silver Spring Networks. He's mirrored this company's dedication energy conservation by spearheading efforts to increase electrical vehicle project funding. Please welcome Dalton Victor.
Good day, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Aguirre and Supervisors Tessier and Horsley, and Connect Redwood City for the opportunity to speak here today. Silver Spring Networks came to Redwood City in 2007 with less than 100 employees. It was actually around 75. And since then, we've grown to 600 employees and built the premier smart grid technology provider in the world, delivering over 17 million endpoints in the field, including Redwood City. And Mayor Aguirre and supervisors, the environmental benefits of our technology will help ensure that Redwood City remains climate best by government test. Even with our business success and a recent successful IPO, maintaining a high growth rate and attracting top talent in Silicon Valley is a daunting task. And our little outfit here in Redwood City must compete with better-known world-class companies in San Francisco, Mountain View, and Cupertino. This is why we found it important to establish a cohesive and recognizable corporate identity based on social responsibility. We have a green team that identifies, then implements services and behavioral adjustments that benefit the environment as well as our employees. These include things like garbage diversion. We currently are diverting 70% of our waste from landfills into compost and recycling. We're shooting for 95. This includes hosting a major Earth Day event that includes participation from 16 companies and eco-minded organizations. This includes hosting meetings of the local Nissan Leaf electric vehicle owners group, also known as Bay Leafs. And this includes installing 8 electric vehicle chargers, which have resulted in 16 tons of carbon dioxide reduction from 6,128 gallons of fuel saved. And this also includes doing a life cycle analysis of our products in conjunction with the Presidio Graduate School of San Francisco. But let's be honest, your eyes have all glazed over now. These are things that we all think are really cool and wonderful, but who knows what 16 tons of carbon dioxide look like? Who knows what 70% of garbage diversion looks like? I'll be the first to admit that I don't. The programs that more directly improve our employees' lives and well-being and our corporate culture are the ones that have an immediate, direct impact on their lives. And Silver Spring's corporate responsibility transportation initiatives emphasize environmental sustainability and support for our community. We offer programs that help our employees commute to and around Redwood City more efficiently through channels that are environmentally friendly, including shuttles and offering EV charging stations. We also support Connect Redwood City program to expand our van pull programs and to help our employees make smarter commute choices. Our employees are free to work, socialize, or rest while someone else takes care of the driving. Employees from different business groups that would not usually interact are able to share ideas or just enjoy the ride together. We arrive at work refreshed and in good spirits, that we didn't have to sit on 101 in traffic. I can tell you from my own experience of commuting from San Jose to Redwood City that I'd much rather spend time at home with my family than in stop-and-go traffic on 101. And that's really what this is about. As an engineer, I like knowing that all of our commute improvement projects are reducing carbon dioxide emissions by 85 tons. But my 3-year-old and my 16-month-old sons, they don't know what a ton is and they don't know what carbon dioxide is. They just know that they like their dad having an hour a day at home to spend with them. And they don't know it yet, but they're really going to enjoy the cleaner air we get as people choose better commuting options. And that sentiment is shared by the dozens of employees who take advantage of these programs at Silver Spring Networks. So I'd like to conclude with a big thank you to commute.org. You're helping us to save the world one commute at a time, and we are anxiously waiting to take advantage of your bike share program. Thank you for this chance to speak today.
Thank you, Dalton. Silver Spring is such a great partner of Redwood City, the way they give back to our community. We have so many great companies, and Silver Spring is one of those that we want to keep because they're doing so many great things, and we love the partnering with you. You know, it's funny, I teach at Kenyatta College, and I was running down here to get on time after my class. And as I got here, one of my students got off the bus, so she got here faster than I did, driving my car. And that tells you, like, that just how valuable that is. The other day I was also walking downtown Redwood City, and I had a young man come up to me and said, "Aren't you the mayor?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, thank you for bringing El Camino Real, because now I can take the bus every 15 minutes. I love getting the credit for everything that everyone here has done, but it really has taken a community to build all of these things that we're doing, all of these benefits. A couple of weeks ago, I got to be part of a little group that was cutting the chain up on the Bay Bridge, but and I can't take a lot of credit for that one. But what I realized is how important it was that they're adding, not only opening up this new wonderful bridge, but adding pedestrian and bicycle lanes to that part. But this bridge, and actually we were cutting the chain. Here we're going to cut the ribbon, and this opens up more things for our community locally, things that I can cherish, that you can all be a part of. So I welcome my colleagues to come back and let's cut the ribbon for this great event. Thank you so much for being part of this in Redwood City. Now you know why I started and said, I am the proud mayor of this wonderful city, Redwood City. Thank you.